Welcome to the video Culture of Ancient Greece. In this video, you will learn about some of the ways that ancient Greece contributed to their culture and our world today. Greek gods and goddesses. The ancient Greeks believed that a family of gods lived in a cloud palace above Mount Olympus, the highest mountain in Greece. These gods were thought to have special powers, and each had control over a different aspect of life. The ancient Greeks believed in many different gods and goddesses. The Greeks believed that these gods and goddesses controlled everything in their lives and the environment. There was a god for every aspect of their lives. It was important to please the gods. Happy gods helped you, but unhappy gods punished you. People had several places in their homes where they could pray to the gods. There were also public shrines in all sorts of places where the people could pray and leave presents. Take a moment to look at the chart to your left. Notice the key in the upper right-hand corner. When you are ready, pause the video and complete the questions, numbers 1 through 7, on the note-taking page. Greek poetry and fables. Homer, seen here on the left in a statue, was a blind man of Greece. He wrote epic poems. One was called the Iliad, and it tells a story of the last year of the Trojan War and how it was fought between Troy and the Greeks. Another story was called the Odyssey. It tells of the many adventures of the hero Odysseus. At the bottom, you see a picture of the Cyclops, one of the adventures in the Odyssey story. On the right, you will see Aesop. Aesop wrote many fables. It's said that he wrote 725 or more. Most were written down between the 10th and 16th centuries. Animals were characters, and the stories taught a moral. Please pause the video now and write one thing you learned about each man. Bonus if you can find the mistake on this page. Greek drama and theater. Some of the theaters were quite large and could seat over 10,000 people. They were open-air theaters with tiered seating built in a semicircle around the main stage, also known as an amphitheater. The bowl shape of the seating allowed the actors' voices to carry throughout the entire theater. Actors performed in the open area at the center of the theater, which was called an orchestra. There are two main types of plays that the Greeks performed: tragedies and comedies. A tragedy is a very serious play with a moral lesson. They usually told the story of a mythical hero who would eventually meet his doom because of his pride. Comedies. Comedies were more light-hearted than tragedies. They told stories of everyday life and often made fun of Greek celebrities and politicians. Think of the things that you've seen and how they do that also. Interesting facts about Greek drama and theater. The word theater comes from the Greek word theatron, which means seeing place. The masks allowed for one actor to play different roles in the same play. A building beneath an orchestra was called a skene. Actors would change costumes in the skene. Pictures were sometimes hung from the skene to create the background. This is where the word scene comes from today. Pause your video again now to summarize each paragraph in 1 to 2 sentences on the handout. Greek architecture. The ancient Greeks had a unique style of architecture that is still copied today in government buildings and major monuments throughout the world. The Greek architecture is known for tall columns, intricate details, and symmetry, harmony, and balance. The Greeks built all sorts of buildings. The main example of Greek architecture that survive today are the large temples that they built to their gods. Greek columns. The Greeks built most of their temples and government buildings in 3 types of styles: Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian. These styles are also called orders, and they reflect the type of columns they used. Most all of the columns had grooves down the sides called fluting. This gave columns the feel of depth and balance. Doric were simple. They're the thickest of the Greek styles. They had no decoration at the base and a simple capital at the top. Doric columns tapered so they were wider at the bottom than the top. See the example below. Ionic columns were thinner than Doric columns at the base and the bottom. The capital at the top was decorated with scrolls on each side. Look at the center picture now. Corinthian, the most decorative of the three orders, the capital was decorated with scrolls and the leaves of the acanthus plant. The Corinthian order became popular in the later era of the Greeks and was heavily copied by the Romans, found here at the bottom. Pause the video now to find the types of columns in column 1 on your handout, and in column 2, draw a sketch of each column.